Many students know their scales, but they don't understand the connection between that and thinking inside a key. So the function finder worksheet ties the number system to the major scale and highlights the typical movements within a key. This gives you the ability to improvise within the key as well as come up with a basic accompaniment for other music. Now we have the function finder worksheet. The example is a beautiful song, Somewhere Only We Know by Keane, and we're in the key of A. This is my favorite worksheet because it's so flexible about what we can teach our students and gets them familiar with the key. First thing we have here is this 1, 4, and 5 in the key of A. I turn that into a technique exercise. Play 1, 4, and 5. Their left hand can play A, right hand can play D, E, and then we do a hand over hand movement up the keyboard. If they cover that well, then assign all 3 of those notes to each hand. So you have a technique exercise built right into this worksheet. The next part is to understand the major scale. We're in the key of A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. This is fun because there's different ways you can figure out the notes of the major scale. The easiest way right now is if you've done that exercise, you've learned A, D, and E, the letters, and that's 1, 4, and 5. So they can go ahead and fill in those boxes, 1, 4, and 5, what letter goes there. The other way I like to do it is the whole step, half step way. So you start on A. You can do it by ear. If it sounds like the Addams Family, you did it correctly. Or you can do it the counting way. You start on that, count up a whole step, and a half step. Let them figure that out. Let them do that leg work there and write down those letters as they go. If your kid likes the music theory challenge, you can teach them the notes of the major scale the rule following way, where they have to follow these 4 rules to write it in correctly. But my favorite is the rule breaking way. If you have a kid that's like particularly smart about it, it's like, okay, now let's see if you can write this in the wrong way and break each one of these rules. So you see my example, how I've used these notes multiple times. I've used a mix and match of flats and sharps, and I've skipped notes. So I've broken every rule. It makes them bend their thinking that B can actually be called C flat sometimes, or there's an A flat and an A sharp. So it gets them thinking about the variations of what we call things. This keyboard part at the bottom is to reinforce what we've already just covered. All those letters. Now let's get into coloring. We have our 1 and 3 are the home base. It tends to sound good with whatever song we're in. Especially this song, it's going to sound really nice. Numbers 7 and 4 are purple. These are our leading tones that lead you to your home base. This is a recurring theme in my videos. Find those tritones because they will lead you back home to the places, and it is the biggest function you're going to notice. So we have those purple notes there. Then you step out to 5 and 6 are orange. Right in the middle is number 2. You can color that any color you want. I wrote in there, color it orange and green. But that is really literally the middle if you're putting 1 and 3 in the center. And then we want to color code the following bass line, 1, 7, 2, 5. So I'm going to show you how 1 and 3 sound nicely when I'm playing the 1, 7, 2, 5. You can also add in a little bit of tension from these notes. And then finally use these locations to imagine a story for this bass line. So you can kind of think of 1 is green, we're going to make that the home base, and then it slips off of its home base to 7, and we want to go somewhere on number 2, and we land on 5, which is finally our location, which matches up with the title, Somewhere Only We Know. Just making those connections open up your imagination about the story the music is telling.